What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the top of the map in the red color. It's been a hot second since we've watched a game of his. His name is Joe, and he is playing as Isis. His opponent today in the blue color playing as Oranos. Most likely Skady, but we still haven't got any confirmation of it. His name is f46, and he is playing as Oranos. The map is Mediterranean. And we'll see how this game is going to go. We haven't watched a whole lot of Mediterranean games recently, so I thought, you know what, let's just check it out, see what's happening, see if anyone's doing anything any different. Not only that, we're also seeing a little bit of a different matchup on Mediterranean. Very rarely do we get to see Egyptian players playing on Mediterranean, because generally speaking in tournament, when a map like Mediterranean is picked, nobody picks Egyptian. Now, I actually think that Isis in particular is actually quite strong on Mediterranean for the grand reason that prosperity exists. So the idea is you play Isis, you go through Anubis, you just play a 433 dock opening with 9 fishing ship, and your entire aim on Mediterranean on the water is to stay alive. You don't want to beat your opponent because you don't care. You don't want to. You're actually going to find an advantage through using prosperity at around about, I want to say, the 8-minute-ish mark, maybe a little bit earlier than 8 minute, and you get a far second town center where your opponent doesn't have the resources to get that town center as well. So you actually find an advantage through getting that economy over there, where your opponent has to keep spamming archer ships to keep up with you. So that's the general game plan there with Isis on Mediterranean. So we'll see what Joe's going to do. Now, Joe is known for somehow making the most ugly build orders you've ever seen work. But this build order here with 5 villagers on wood, I've never seen before. It's not a good build on Anatolia. It's not a good build on Midgard, and I don't know how it's going to work here on Mediterranean. All it means is you're going to be able to get your fishing ships out really fast, and maybe he's going to go for something like 11 or 13 fishing ships. Which are really difficult to defend against an Oranos, literally any other civilization as well. So we'll see how things are going to go over here as f46 here, playing it very standard. Generally speaking, 430 is super achievable here with Oranos. Some Atlantean players do prefer to go for a 4-minute advance time on. I think the fastest you can get is like a 403 or a 404 or something like that with 2 docks and like 6 fishing ship. But generally speaking, the 430 is the one to go, which isn't so bad. So we'll see how things are going to go over here as Joe here is trying to get up his gold at this point, and he might have to chuck all these villagers onto a temple here in order to get that one up in time to get a 330 advance time. But like I said, when he's going for this many villagers on wood, he's actually taking one off to build a house over here. Generally speaking, you're going to be getting yourself a later advance time anyways. You just don't have the food and you don't have anything else. So he's probably going for a 5-minute advance time or something like that and going for mass docks or something. So we'll see how that's going to go. Now, there was a build that I used to do a long time ago, which was decent, but not really the best build. But it was a 5-minute build, which was 5 dock advance. So you would go for something like a 12 fishing ship advance time with 5 docks, and you get those docks all up by about 430, or 445-ish would be when the last one pops. So by the time your opponent actually attacks you, you got 5 docks, and you can just sit there and defend underneath them. The problem was that you would get idle villager time because you'd have to garrison all your fishing ships and not be able to build villages. So, I mean, we'll see how things are going to go. But there's the Prometheus coming through. It looks like it is slightly behind here from the side of f46. You can see that at 4 minutes, that town center should be at 50%, but it is about 5 seconds behind. So, not the worst thing here. It does kind of just depend on how fast you are in the early game, getting that dock up and getting those fishing ships in, and how much force dropping you can get. So we'll see how things are going to go, as Anubis is the god of choice here, and it looks like we were roughly accurate with that 5-minute advance time coming through here for Joe. So it is a bit of a dated build order. We'll see if it's going to work. We do already see f46 with his oracles out on the map. This dock coming up over here, the fishing ship's going to be able to put this up anyways, so these oracles coming in. I do think that Shockwave is well worth it to take this villager out, and we see that it's not necessary there, as the villager is going to get sacrificed to get the dock up. Nonetheless, the fishing ships do manage to get that one down here. Now the question is, where is the priest, as the priest needs to be over here to defend this as well, as Anubis is coming in. The Pharaoh going to be hanging back for just a little bit here as well, as the Pharaoh now coming in, going to start flinging those boulders away as the Oracle's going to be retreating back here, as the Bareem starting to come in, and Joe now going to start getting his cabinets out at this point, as we can already see, look, that 50 population here for f46 to Joe's 35 population. A huge advantage at this point, as those Bareems are going to be moving around on this map incredibly quickly here. We'll see if he's going to be able to take this dock out. Generally speaking, just not really possible here, as the Bareem's moving over onto this location, going to be taken out. Fishing ship or two over here, as we do see now also the Promethean getting pushed back. But now we've also got another thing happening here for Joe. Joe's really good with this. He's going to be moving his Anubite in while defending here. And look at this, the way that Joe's managed to make this work. He's still got villagers here pumping out on this location over here. So he's not had any real idle time. He's pumping his fishing ships back out at every single opportunity he has, trying to get his cabinets out, trying to get his resources low and all spent. As we do see those, the Anubite now moving in. There's nothing in the base of f46, so this Anubite will start doing some damage here. And as the Anubite moves in, generally speaking, Joe will pop out here and try and find an advantage while his opponent is distracted by the Anubite. But now we do have those Oracle heroes in onto this position, going to be defending this one fairly decent. Look at all the Bareems out of f46 though. He's got 13 here. Joe just about to pop out. He's getting himself 9 cabinets here to the 14 or 10 cabinets to the 14 Bareems. It is kind of advantage still for f46. So Joe's just going to have to sit back at this point and defend as best as he can, as the Bareem's pulling back away from here. Joe here now, 15 villagers on wood. This is roughly standard here, as we do see the Shockwave coming in. Surely you drop Plague of Serpents here, and that's exactly what's going to be happening. A little bit of a strange Plague of Serpents drop, though, as he wants to be sitting right underneath this Mahi, allowing those Plague of Serpents here to defend while he can fight back. But the general macro here for Egyptian is 15 wood, and then you put everyone onto gold and drop your prosperity. As you can see, more units going to come in onto that. The Pharaoh gets swapped over there, and things are going to look fairly good here for Joe. As I mean, his macro is off here for some reason. I can't explain exactly why, but he's just off here. He doesn't have pickaxe either, so things a little bit challenging for him in this game. Whereas f46's macro, very, very nicely done here. 20 archer ships here right now to 13 cabinets for Joe, as we see some pigs getting stolen over here, as the Anubite is still running around causing some chaos. As we do see those Bareems pushing in here. It's really, really difficult to actually attack on these locations. Generally speaking, I actually think the best way to play here from the Atlantean perspective, when the Egyptian is playing super defensively like Joe is split your Bareems up, attack this location over here and attack this location over here, and try and wedge in on the side instead of right on the front. So you get less ships not attacking at the start of the fight, and you might be able to find yourself a better attack angle there, or something like that. As the prosperity does get dropped here for Joe. He's got 13 villagers on the gold mine, and this is exactly how I think Egyptians should be playing this in terms of the strategy here. He's going to continue to build these archer ships. He's going to have a completely fine time producing from at least 2 docks here, and he's going to be able to drop this town center here come very, very soon. The problem is, did he get pickaxe? No, he didn't get pickaxe, so it's going to be a little bit slow for him here in the end. So we'll see how things are going to go at the moment, as the Bareem's going to be retreating away here. He's got himself 25 Bareems here for F46 and Joe on the other hand is slowly starting to catch up here. Look at that, 25 cabinets. He actually has more than his opponent, it seems, or definitely a stronger amount than his opponent, and he's going to be able to start moving in and really hard winning this water come on this location. Look at that. Look at those resources. 9 fishing ships, 100 food, 400 gold. He can drop a town center right now. And whereas F46 on the other hand, he can actually also drop a town center here because reasons are that F46 has hit the full population here nicely and hasn't taken any poor fights. So this should be a relatively equal position here for both players moving forward. So it's going to be a really, really interesting game for both players here, so long as no one makes any real bad missteps on the water, as it looks like F46 is just doing exactly that at this point here now, as the Kevin's pushing in, as the Ream's going to be retreating away from this location very, very poorly. He runs underneath the docks, but I mean, I feel like at this point, if you're going to continue building ships, you just got to turn around and take the fight. But we are seeing Bareem's going to be leaving this location, going to be going after some fishing ships here, while the Cabinet's here turning back for some reason. He's just got to take this fight here. You've got such a bigger number than your opponent, as the fishing ship's going to get taken down. Over here, Joe's just simply going to garrison nice and easily there. Town center going to go up. It's got a gold mine right next to it. A really, really nice position there. We do see some hero oracles and the Promethean sitting on this location over here, so Joe has to be a little bit careful about that one. But generally speaking, at this point here, Joe can just go mass gold and start looking towards getting more villagers on food here and be in a really, really nice position. But F46 doesn't even need to have, really fight water anymore. He can just go 3 town centers and have the Atlantean economy going for himself. As this Anubite does spot a villager over here, will be sniping one as no mana has come down. Nice play here from Joe. He might even get 2 villagers here, as this town center is going to get slowed down. It's 2,000 HP here, as it does look like the town center will come up here, as the Cabinet's going to be able to start taking this location, as those Cabinets, Bareems all start falling here, and Joe will get access to this water nicely. You can see that Joe's also taken everything off of wood at this point, or maybe they've gone idle, and he's going to start moving them over onto the berries and onto the pigs, so that you can get enough resources to get to that heroic age and clean everything else up. The question is, does F56, he's still building some Bareems here, but I really don't think there's any point, because none of the town centers are in range of water. This is, generally speaking, the way that you think about how important the actual middle of the water is as to how long you fight for it. You always have to fight for it, but how long you fight for it is how are the town centers positioned. If you've got town centers on range of water, then what you do is, if you lose the water, you're always trying to sneak docks up a little bit later, as we do see these Bareems are going to start popping out here and trying to fight it. But there's still plenty of Cabinets out for Joe here, as we do see a cheeky little shockwave there, as the army going to be, or the navy going to be trying to retreat back. And we'll see how things are going to go here, as Joe here, still no pickaxe. Still no pickaxe for Joe. He might realize it a little bit later, but he's going to have to start thinking about getting farms down. Still has to get over here and secure that town center. I'm surprised that F46 himself hasn't gone for the 3rd town center yet. Obviously, he's still pumping out Bareems here. Is Joe going to be pulling back? Joe going to have to chuck a whole bunch more villagers back over onto wood here. As you can see, he's done that. He's gone back up to 13 on wood in order to continue building these cabinets. Nice marker there from F46, but Joe still has the advantage here in terms of cabinets. 27 cabinets here. And the longer this fight goes on, for me at the very least, it seems that the closer the Egyptian player is going to get to a position where he's going to have more economy than the Atlantean player, if that makes any sense. The longer the game goes on, the closer the 80 villagers you get, the more advantage you get as the Egyptian player. So I'm not sure, it just doesn't make sense from a strategic point what F46 is really trying to achieve here, fighting on the water for so long. We do see this villager over here sneaking through on this position, going to be distracting this army a little bit here. Do we see Joe getting closer to the next age? He does have the armory. He's got the favor here. Looks like he's got more villagers on food. He's happily going to be sticking on 2 town centers, trying to get to the heroic age here, not going for 3 town centers. It's a little bit interesting to see that. I actually like that play a little bit more than just the straight 3 town centers that most people generally try and do on a Mediterranean. But we're still seeing f46 trying to fight this. And the thing is, the advantage of the Atlantean ship is speed, not these, and production speed. So you get them out at 12 seconds versus 14 seconds, I believe. And they have less stats. They cost less. So you can't really match a full population versus full population army. So you want to split that up, attack multiple different locations at once. It's kind of hard to do that on Mediterranean, but it's definitely the way to do it. As we see the new Boit still alive, still running around here, looking for something to do. Starting to see some priests coming through here to defend this location. The village is going to come in, drop this town center. We still don't even have a barracks up for f46, it seems. He's dropping a economic guild over here. He doesn't have an armory just yet. Going to be looking to get to the heroic age here as fast as he possibly can here. As those Breams getting taken down, we do see this town center coming up, but there's just so many villages here. You just turn around and shank those oracles at this point. No real problems here. We do have the priest here as well. I mean, Joe might not even care. He's just going to say, just kill off a villager or two, no problems. I'd rather get the town center up a little bit faster and get those villagers coming out here, as we do see some military buildings coming down onto this position over here. But town center is up. We do have some axemen coming in as well to deal with those Murmillo that are popping out here, so they aren't going to be a problem at all, as the docks here going to get cleaned up, and f46 finally says, all right, I'm not going to go for that anymore. We do see an armory getting dropped down over here as the pig's about to finish up. There are, I should say, there is a little bit of food on the map, some boars over here, some lions on this position, but most of the time you just got to start farming here as the town center is up. Barracks coming down over here. Joe still not able to get some of that next age here. It looks like he spent all his resources on producing some military units instead of advancing. Does he have himself a purse scene here as well? Yes, he does. So his fishing economy going to be quite good as well. One thing that I wouldn't mind seeing is fishing these side fish here with Egyptian. Just throwing up a dock here and dropping the fish down on this location and this location here. If you think about it, you get yourself an extra 8 fish, which does almost equal 18, right? Is that 17 fish there, right? In total. So 9 plus 8. So you can have a really, really big economy there, but we never see those fish really getting gathered for some reason. I mean, obviously, maybe even with Norse, it's not a bad idea because you can easily drop the docks down on the sides. But anyways, neither here nor there. As we do see a sky passage coming out. This is one of the big advantages of Oranos over say like Kronos. I mean, Kronos has got an advantage in of itself because it's got time shift, but over Gaia or Kronos on this map is the sky passage to drop from one side of the map to the other side of the map really quickly, and your opponent just can't keep up with you, and you just keep on attacking different locations here. But Joe is just so absurdly far ahead right now. He's got so many resources. He needs to take some villages off of wood though, secure some more gold, throw some farms up, and really get that economy going. He's now got himself pickaxe, but in true Joe fashion, no plow. So who knows why, but no plow here. As we do see the mining camps coming up on this position here to try and get an efficient gold mine. But just back to the plow thing. Normally, plow only gives you a 10% boost to your economy or to your farms. You are seeing it coming in. But for laborers, for whichever reason, the Ensemble Studios designers decided, hey, because Egyptian players can build farms in the archaic age, we're going to make them so inefficient that we don't want you to, basically, that it's a noob trap. Don't build farms in the archaic age. And we're going to give you plow to readjust at 22% increase to readjust the balance there in terms of gather rate. So if you don't have plow on your farms, you lose out so heavily as Egyptian compared to any of the other civilizations, just because of that innate starting position. As the villagers retreating away from here, somehow, how did he get in there? Was there? Oh, he ran all the way around. He broke this down. He breaks this down. The villagers coming through. The army trying to chase down. We do see the axemen in onto this position here. You do have to marker this. Axemen attacking Terma, not a good idea. Doesn't do a whole lot. And in true Joe fashion, he gets this stone gate. This is a technology which we see a lot of players neglecting. It costs only 400 resources, but look at the bonus. You get plus 600 HP and plus 10%, minus 10% wall hack vulnerability. 600 HP might not seem like a lot, but it is literally double the HP. Literally double. as Joe hits the heroic age here. F46 now. He's already in the heroic age. He hasn't started any sort of power serve on this position over here. He's just trying to push through on this location, pushing off this gold. Because if he can get in and push off of this gold mine, he gets a gold starve over here, trying to put some pressure over onto this gold mine as well. So it makes a lot of sense for him to be putting all the pressure over here. But if he doesn't set up on this position to secure this gold mine, things are going to be really tough for him as well. It's now the Miller pushing in, going to take down these villages here. We do see the siege works coming up over here as well. Yes, the Kevin is trying to take down that dock over there. As we see the Axemen swinging in onto this location. We've got the units just hanging back over here. Migdol Stronghold coming up for Joe as well, as we see some more docks coming down over here for F46, as he doesn't really want to give up on the water that easily, deciding if he gets some water, he can build a transport ship and just kind of sneak in here and start dropping some buildings down. If you take a look at Joe's actual perspective here, he does have full line of sight though, so it's not going to be easy. He's got himself the signal fires already here, so it's not going to be easy. And we do see Osiris now coming through for Joe really, really fast here. No Mythic Age coming in for F46 just yet. So he's not going to even be able to teleport in onto this location. I think that a different way that F46 possibly could have played this was go for a much faster heroic age through Helios and then Vortex in onto this location over here, and try and go for the gold star that way rather than try and break down these walls, which Joe is like so obnoxiously throwing up. He's just like, nah, wall here, wall here, wall here, no problems. And F46 is just like, how do I get through? And there could be another wall getting thrown up over here as well, as these villagers just throw up the walls so absurdly fast, though it's actually open here. He doesn't need to kill it. But I don't think he has worked it out. There we go. The destroyers get in here. As the cabinets on this location getting dealt with. This little Leviathan's still here as well, so that's another problem for F46 to deal with on the water, as he does have his market and he's just about to hit that next age. I'd be surprised if he goes through Hecate here. And he's going through Helios. So Helios has to be the way forward here for F46, just diving in onto this town center, putting all the pressure over here, diving in onto this town center to take that down while the army isn't over here. You can see everything over here, and effectively he should be able to take that town center down and get an advantage here. You see some of these fishing ships getting taken down. F46 here, I don't know exactly what the best play is, but I think he needs to go full melee units at this point and somehow hit some sort of Helios like move here. Some sort of pressure here, get all the army on this side and then teleport over, or pressure here and then teleport over onto this town center is the other option. As Son of Osiris does get dropped, and Joe is just simply hitting both sides. We'll see how things are going to go. As the army now dropping through onto this location here. It's got the sky passage over here. The army all pops through onto this position here as the palace is up. Helios coming through. The Axemen are in. Siege Tower pushing through. I really like this army. Axemen, Siege Tower, Slinger. But Slinger's probably not really that useful. Kind of better to just make the chariots here, as we do see an Ancestors getting dropped down onto this position, trying to hold over here. As the Son of Osiris now moving in onto this position over here, as Joe is taking it really slow. Look at all the economy. He can basically drop a wonder here, and he's dropping another monument over here. So it could be a possibility that Joe drops a wonder in this back corner as well in this game. He's not adverse to fast wandering, but Helios is through, so he might rethink that in the near future here. There's F46 here. 100 favor in the bank. He needs to make some more Hecagigantes here. Obviously, there is the mummy you have to worry about, but Hecagigantes so good at tearing down those buildings here. As poor Gaia Bird there. Poor Gaia Bird. You do see that Vortex is coming in. Can he get the... Oh, no. I was thinking, can he get that Hecagigantes special to throw that Son of Osiris away, but he just pushes him to safety, unfortunately, there, as F46 kind of wastes a Vortex where that's concerned, and he does decide in that moment that things are a little bit too dire for him here. Joe's a little bit too well set up, and he gets the win. And here's the thing. This is the thing about Joe. Joe plays so obnoxiously badly in the early game, but so obnoxiously well for the rest of the game that if he just fixed that early game, I feel like he would nearly never lose a game with Egyptian unless someone else got to his level. Because he is so obnoxiously good at just like strategy, game plan, like weaknesses, covering weaknesses, making sure he just doesn't lose, that I just feel like he's just such an obnoxiously good player. Just like literally like 30 minutes of build order training for like, I don't know, 5 days, and he would be unstoppable. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.